If you're a real estate agent, I have one very simple question for you. What do you want? What do you want out of your real estate career, out of your real estate business? And most importantly, what do you want out of your life? If you're like most real estate agents that I've worked with and coached and trained over the last 20 years in the business, I can assure you that you probably want one or more of these 5 things. Number 1, more leads and more clients. Number 2, more money. Number 3, more fun. Number 4, more time. Or number 5, more freedom. Now, I'd like you to do me a favor. In the comments below, throw in which of those 5 things is the most important to you right now in your life. And like I said, if you're like most real estate agents that I've worked with, one or more of those things is probably keeping you up at night and you're wondering how to get that without working 24/7 and without wearing yourself out and making yourself totally exhausted and burning out on the business. Now, for just a minute, I want you to do something for me, and that is I want you to imagine that you have all 5 of those things. I want you to imagine that you have leads and clients coming in on demand every single day, that you have wires coming in, commission checks every single day. You're having fun because your business is predictable and profitable, and you have the time and freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Take a minute to just think about what that would feel like, what that would do, and how that would change your life and the life of your family if you made that all happen. I want you to know that you have the ability to do that. You just have to make the right decision, and you have to surround yourself with the right plan and the right community so that you can achieve all of those things. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to share with you, don't worry. I am not here to sell you anything. I have absolutely nothing to sell you. At the end of this video, there is no expensive coaching program. There's no additional webinar to sign up for. You don't have to give me your email for something that I'm going to send you so that you can then buy a course. None of that. I am here to give you amazing information, deliver value so that you can make a decision on the future of your real estate business and the future of your life. You see, this video is about one thing and one thing only: helping you achieve your goals faster. And if you haven't already, throw in the comments below which of those 5 things is the most important to you and what you want to achieve. Now, really quickly, I want to make sure you're in the right place and share with you who this video is for. This video is for brand new real estate agents that just got their license, or maybe you're about to get your license. If you're an experienced agent and you've been in the business for a long time, if you're a solo agent, maybe you're already working on a team, or maybe you're a team leader. If you're a brokerage owner, if you do luxury real estate, if you do commercial real estate, any of those things, you are in the right place. In short, whatever stage of the business you are in and wherever you are in your real estate business, this video is for you. If you want to make more money and you want more time and more freedom, then you're watching the right video. And this will be the most important real estate video, I believe, that you will ever watch, because today I am going to introduce you to a real estate business model and vehicle that will best help you achieve all of your goals and all of the things that we have talked about. This is not just a real estate brokerage model, but this is something that will allow you to achieve all of your goals faster. Now, if that sounds too good to be true, that's exactly what I always thought when I saw this several different times. And to tell you the truth, I first saw this model about 5 or 6 years ago, and guess what I did? Absolutely nothing. I then saw it again about 3 years ago, and I did absolutely nothing again. But you know what? Maybe the timing just wasn't right. Well, the timing was right for me about 6 months ago when I got reintroduced to this model, albeit in a slightly different way. I finally said, hey, this is the right time. I understand it. Now I get it. And over the last 6 months, I've gotten to see firsthand what I can achieve and what everyone around me can achieve when you're plugged into the right model. And that model is eXp Realty combined with one of the biggest organizations at eXp Realty, the Fast Forward Movement. And on this video, I am going to share with you exactly how everything works. We're going to take a comprehensive dive into both eXp Realty and our organization within eXp Realty called the Fast Forward Movement. Now, if you've heard of eXp Realty before, which I'm sure you have, I'm going to give you a very comprehensive and in-depth look on exactly how the model works. So make sure you stay tuned. Now, I realize that I've packed a lot of information into this video. So I've also added timestamps if you want to jump around or come back later and rewatch certain sections of this video so that you can fully understand exactly what's going on and how this video and all the information here is going to help you achieve all of your goals. Let's dive right in. So let me share with you first, what is the fast forward movement at eXp Realty? Well, first of all, we are one of the largest organizations within the brokerage eXp Realty. We have approximately 6,400 members with over 150 new agents, not brand new agents, but new agents to the organization joining every single month. We are powered by the #1 brokerage in transaction sides in the United States. That's right. eXp is now #1. It's also the largest independent global brokerage that is publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And eXp Realty now has over 89,000 real estate agents as of the filming of this video worldwide. That's US, Canada, and 22 additional countries, with more coming soon. Now, that is a very brief synopsis. I'm going to get into all of the details of not only eXp Realty and how everything works, but also of the fast forward movement and what happens when you partner with me and how you'll be able to get to your goals much, much faster. Now, I want to start by sharing something that's really interesting. I have played sports all my life. I've been around business all my life. And what I want to share with you is that all of the best athletes, the most successful business people, when you interview them, when they've been on podcasts and things like that, they all say that in order to achieve success, in order to achieve your goals, you need 3 things. #1, a proven system and plan to follow. #2, mentoring or coaching with accountability built in. And #3, a supportive community. That is how you get to all of your goals. And if you take a look at some of the most successful people in all of these industries, in sports and business and all of those things, people like the ones on this slide right here. Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and the lady that invented Spanx, Sarah Blakely. I blanked on it for a second, but I got it. All of these people have become successful by having those 3 things in their life. And I want to ask you a very blunt question. Do you currently have those 3 things in your life? Do you have a system and a plan that you are following religiously every single day? Do you have coaching and accountability in your life? People or someone that is making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? And are you surrounded by a supportive community? And if you're currently not, you really have a couple of choices on how to get that. Obviously, in real estate, if you're a newer agent or even experienced agent, of course you can join a team or you could sign up for expensive coaching. Not on this video, because I told you I'm not going to sell you anything. Or, and here's a quick sneak peek about what I'm going to talk about, you can get all 3 of those benefits that I just shared without any additional cost or split to you, without paying for expensive coaching or programs or anything like that. Because at the end of this video, you will understand how to think like an entrepreneur, not just a real estate agent. You see, I went to law school and I also went to business school, and thinking like an entrepreneur is very, very important. And what I found is that a lot of real estate agents simply don't do that. At the end of this video, you will. You're going to be exposed to a business model and a vehicle in real estate that allows you to earn money in 5 different ways. This is huge. It's the only model of its kind that I've ever seen that lets you do that. I'm so excited to share that with you. You will understand how to create an exit strategy for your business, how to create residual income for your business, and also a retirement plan without doing anything differently. You see, I believe one of the biggest problems in our industry is those things typically and before did not ever exist. I know I never had them until now. You'll also see how you can achieve all of your goals faster without working 24/7. And I don't know about you, but that's what I'm into. Now, speaking of me, I want to share a little bit of my background just so you can see who I am, what I've done in the industry. Again, this video is not about me. It is entirely about you, but I just want to share a couple things. So I started my career as a real estate attorney. I went to Pepperdine Law School in Malibu, California. Met my wife there, became an attorney and practiced for a couple of years. I quickly realized that I really was more of an entrepreneur and I did not want to sit in an office and do paperwork all day. So I branched out on my own, became a real estate broker, and actually have been one for over 20 years in both California and Texas. So during that 20-year career in real estate, I've written articles for Inman. I've been a national speaker. I've hosted a radio show. I've done podcasts and YouTube videos and all kinds of things all about real estate. And most importantly, and I think this is the part that's really relevant to you, is that I've been involved in every single type of real estate model that there is. And so I can speak to the inner workings of all these models. I have had my own independent brokerage. I've owned franchises. I've been at luxury boutique brokerage, both the franchise model and the corporate model. And so I can talk about all of these things because I know exactly what's going on. I've also been a Keller Williams MAPS coach for luxury real estate agents and teams and brokerages. I've been a trainer for all of these types of people, and so I've seen every type of business model, and I was also a certified one-thing coach. I've also built teams and brokerages myself to over 400 agents. So with all of this experience, all I want to share with you, I'm not telling you any of that to toot my own horn. I'm really just sharing that with you so that you understand that I have been through whatever you're going through. And I am here to help you get to your goals faster, because the first thing I want to do here is share a little bit of bad news. And that is, if you remember those 5 things that I talked about at the beginning of this video, unfortunately, most agents will never achieve those things, because the statistics in real estate are really terrible. You know, number one, over 75% of real estate agents leave the business within a couple years. And less than 3% of agents earn over $100,000 in net income. In fact, every time I meet with a new or newer agent, I ask them what their goal is. They always say $100,000. That's the most typical answer. Number one answer on the board. And unfortunately, most agents never do that. So if you're watching this and you are in the industry for over 2 years, you have been, or you do earn over $100,000 net income, not gross, but net, I want to congratulate you. You're already successful. And in fact, throw your name in the comments below. I'd like to refer you some business, because that is an amazing thing. But I am sure that there's something probably still missing in your business or in your life. It's probably one of the 5 things that I mentioned earlier. Now, if you're not achieving those things, I want to tell you that it's not your fault. You see, in real estate, the deck has really been stacked against you. The real estate business was not set up for you to succeed. In fact, I've identified several problems in the real estate industry that exist and that are not really your fault. Number one, typically there's no system. I already talked about that a little bit. There's no schedule, there's no training, there's no accountability, and there's no mentorship for people to follow, usually. It's also an individual sport. You know, I always played team sports, basketball, football, all these kinds of things. And when I got into real estate, I noticed, hey, this is an individual sport. Everyone's gunning for each other. Everyone's competing for the same clients. Some agents even steal clients. I know that's not you, but that happens. And so it's not a team sport. It's very isolating, right? Also, there's no exit strategy. You know, the only thing you could do is just keep selling real estate. There's no way to exit the business. There's also no residual income. We wake up every single day at 0. If you don't go sell a house tomorrow, you're not going to be cashing a check in 30 days. There's also no retirement plan most of the time. And so I've identified all of these problems. Now, the issue for me was always, how do I solve these issues? And I always had Band-Aid solutions for these until I found this model about 6 months ago, which solves all of these problems. And that is where eXp Realty comes in. The best way for me to give you a quick taste of eXp Realty is for you to hear it directly from our CEO.
Thrilled to announce that today, RealTrends 500 released their annual ranking, and eXp, once again, by a significant margin, was ranked the #1 company in agent count, the #1 company in transaction count, and the #3 company in volume. This is a celebration that eXp is the winning model, that the cloud brokerage worked. Glenn Sanford came up with this idea 13 years ago, and we are now the dominant player. This means that we are the place for real estate entrepreneurs to build whatever size business they want. If you want to be a one-person solo practitioner, a domestic partnership with you and your partner, or you want to grow one of the biggest mega teams in the industry, this is the home to do that. I am grateful and honored to have a chance to help lead this company to continue to become the place where people want to build their real estate careers.
So now that you've heard that message from our CEO, I want to go over an interesting question. And that is, what makes eXp Realty so special? Look, there have been tons of new ideas, tons of new models, tons of new brokerages that have come out over the last 20 years while I've been in business. What makes eXp so special? The best way for me to explain this to you is just to share the model and how other industries have evolved in similar ways. And let me start with something that is near and dear to my heart, Blockbuster Video. If you're around my age, I'm 48, I remember back in the day, I used to go on Friday night with my girlfriend to the Blockbuster, grab a video, go watch the movie, forget all about it, and then pay a bunch of late fees 2 weeks later. Well, what happened to Blockbuster Video? They went out of business, and the reason they went out of business is because a company called Netflix came out and they revolutionized the delivery of that product, and they made it more about the customer. Next up, we had stores like Circuit City where I could go in and buy electronics. Now, I know Best Buy and Barnes & Noble still exist, but I went into Best Buy the other day and it was like a ghost town. No one was there. Why? Because everyone buys their stuff on Amazon. Again, revolutionized the delivery of the product, made it much better for the customer, the end user, and they put those companies either out of business or almost out of business. Last but not least, we have taxi cabs. Hey, I used to call a cab and call the company, they'd come pick you up. Remember that? If you're older like me, you remember. If you're younger, you may not remember. But hey, these things existed. What happened to them? You guessed it, Uber came along, put them out of business. Why? Because it was better for the customer. And in that same way, traditional real estate brokerages have given way to a model called eXp Realty, which I am talking about today. Now, the reason I believe that all of these companies on the right have taken over for all the companies on the left is because the companies on the right are customer-centric. They've built their model around the customer versus around the company and what's in the best interest of the company. So I want to share with you the difference between the traditional real estate brokerage and eXp so that you can really see how these are completely different models, and then you can decide which one is better for you. Let's start with the traditional real estate brokerage, the franchise model. Now, as I mentioned, I have been involved in this model both as an agent and also as a franchise owner of Keller Williams offices. So I can speak to this all day long. Now, franchise models are like Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's International Realty, Remax, Coldwell Banker. There are a bunch of others. These are franchise models. Let me share with you how these work. At the top of the chain is the CEO or the corporate office, which is the franchisor. That means they make the rules. They sell franchise rights to a master franchisee. What that person does is they buy a territory. That's usually a big territory. So let's say Keller Williams comes to me and says, Danny, how would you like to have the rights to all of the United States? And you could do whatever you want with those franchise rights. Now, I wish I would have done that 25 years ago. I was not around, but that's a master franchisee. The master franchisee then goes out and sells franchises to a regional owner. So then I would go to someone else and go, hey, I meet John, my buddy, and I go, John, listen, would you like to buy all of California? And then you could take California and open up as many offices as you want. That's the regional owner. Now the regional owner goes out, John goes out, and he finds local franchisees, guys like me who owned offices, and goes, hey, Danny, how would you like to open a Keller Williams office in this area, in Dallas or wherever? That's the local franchisee. And then the local franchisee goes out and I open an office. I have overhead, and I hire receptionists, and I hire people for the office, and I buy coffee makers and copiers and all this kind of stuff, and I sign a big lease, and then I have all of this overhead, and I have and run that office. And guess who's at the bottom of this franchise model? If you guessed you, then you would be 100% correct. You, the agent, is at the bottom of that franchise model. Every time you close a commission, every time you close a deal, your portion of the commission goes to the franchisee, and then that gets sent up the chain, and all of these people on this graphic get paid. The local franchise office, they have to pay all their overhead and expenses. The local franchisee's got to get paid, the regional owner, the master franchisee, and then all the way up to the corporate office. So as you can see, this model is very corporate focused. Everyone is making money off of you as the agent. Let's go over, and you might be saying, well, what about the corporate model? Hey, I work at a local office, or I work at a corporate-owned real estate office. Okay, great. Let's take a look at the corporate model. The corporate model are offices and companies like Compass, Howard Hanna, Douglas Elliman, and there's a bunch of local companies. You know, if someone opens up a local office, those are still corporate owned. How do those work? Let's take a look. Well, I've been a part of these offices and companies as well. Here's what happens. You have the CEO or the corporate office, and they say, hey, let's open up a real estate office, right? A real estate company. Then what happens from there is that they need money to do that. So they're either going to get investors, or they're going to get a venture capital fund or someone to fund them, and so that they have money, or maybe they use their own money to open up offices, and then they go out and then they open up real estate offices, and then they have all of this overhead and expenses that they have to pay for. That creates a lot of red tape, creates a lot of rules and overhead and restrictions and all of these things at these companies. And then guess who's again at the bottom of the model? That would be you, the agent. Again, very company centric. Every time you close a deal, you pay a portion of your commission to the company, and then all that money goes up the chain to all of these different people. Now, I want to compare and contrast that with the way eXp Realty was built and was created. And by the way, eXp Realty was founded by Glenn Sanford, who came from Keller Williams. Now, again, I wish this was something that I thought of, because when I was at Keller Williams, a lot of these things frustrated me as well, but guess what? I didn't think of it. Glenn did. Kudos to him. I love that he did, because now we all get to participate and take advantage of this amazing system. Let's take a look at how eXp Realty works, and we'll contrast that with the other models I just showed you. So eXp Realty, you are at the center of the model, not the company. Everything is built around you. It is the most agent-centric model that I have ever been a part of and that I have ever seen. Built all around you are amazing training, live and on demand anytime you want it. World-class support that you can get anytime you want it. Now, I'll talk about it a little bit later when I talk about our cloud-based system, but I will tell you that when I was a part of a franchise and I was the broker in charge for hundreds of agents and someone needed me, if I was with someone else, I couldn't answer their question. If I was at lunch, I couldn't answer their question. If I was out of the office sick, I couldn't answer their question. At eXp, you have access to real-time support anytime you need it, and it is amazing. You also have the ability to build your own organization with no boundaries. When I was at Keller Williams, I built a pretty big team, about 50 agents, and the challenges I ran into were so huge, because when I went to a different area or a different territory, what happened was I had to play by their rules. I had to go talk to their broker, their office manager, their administrator. I literally had to hire someone on my team to administer all of that stuff in multiple different offices. That doesn't happen at eXp. You can build an organization as big as you want, and that is the reason I believe that so many big teams and brokerages have actually come over and joined eXp in the fast forward movement, because we just make it easy for you to operate. You can have agents anywhere you want in the world, all part of the same company, the same system, the same easy to follow rules. So it's your organization, no boundaries, no limits. You can also work from anywhere you want. I will talk about this again a little bit later, but by coming to eXp, which is a cloud-based company, you're not losing out on office space, because we have partnerships with companies and you can work from anywhere you want, including your house, which we've understood is usually the way most agents work, or from a coffee shop or their clients or wherever you're gonna go. eXp also offers the unique ability for us to earn money in 5 different ways. I'm gonna get into each one of those on this video. They are amazing, and they allow you to create wealth for yourself and your family and really build a real business. And I'm gonna talk about those in depth. And also, as I mentioned already, the eXp Cloud Campus and all of the technology that they have built is all built around us as agents to allow us to succeed. So as you can see, when you compare and contrast the franchise model, the company model, and then now the eXp model, which is so agent-centric, hopefully you see the stark difference in those models. Now, before I get into the 5 ways that you can make money at eXp, I know that's what you want to hear about. I want to talk about mindset, and specifically, I want to talk about the mindset of an entrepreneur, a business owner, and an investor versus the mindset of a real estate agent and an employee. And the best way for me to do this is something that I was exposed to a long time ago that I absolutely love. It's called the cash flow quadrant, and I want to share this with you. You see, most people in the United States, most people that grow up in a traditional family, I grew up in a family that pushed high education, which I'm very thankful for. I went to law school, I went to college obviously before that, and my parents always said, hey, go be a lawyer because you're going to earn a big salary. Well, what that does is that creates an employee mindset. And when you're an employee, essentially you have a job. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I love the people that we have working for us that have jobs. right? But if you are thinking like an entrepreneur, then you're probably going to want to move on in this cash flow quadrant, right? Because when you have a job, you have no leverage. What you're doing is you're trading your time for money. See, when I was an attorney, I had to bill time. Every month, I had to bill time, and when I billed time, I got paid. That's an employee, and that's an employee mindset. Now, most of us who got into real estate, we did it because we want to be self-employed, right? If you're watching this video and that's you, let me know in the comments below. We want to be self-employed, and so we move down to the left side, bottom of the cash flow quadrant, and we become self-employed. This is where most real estate agents stop. They become self-employed, but the problem is that most real estate agents now simply own a job. They still don't have leverage, and they're still trading time for money. Yes, maybe you're making more money than you would make in a regular job, but you still don't have leverage. You still can't do whatever you want whenever you want. You don't have the time freedom. Your business isn't as fun as you would want it. And that is because you're just owning a job. You haven't moved over to the right side of the cash flow quadrant, which is where I think entrepreneurs should all be striving to go. And when you move over to the right side of the cash flow quadrant, you get to the business owner quadrant. And the difference here is that as a business owner, you own a system that works for you. Systems, processes, checklists, all of these kinds of things. And most importantly, you have employees and you have systems with those employees that provide you with a lot of leverage so that your system is making you money. This is where you really start duplicating your efforts. All the money you make is not simply tied to your own personal efforts. This is like starting a team or starting a business and all of these kinds of things. Now, some real estate agents get to that point and they stop there. And that is fantastic. Congratulations to you if you're there. But there is one more box in the cash flow quadrant, and that is called investor. The investor box is where your money works for you. This is where you have passive and residual income, and this is where you have the highest form of leverage. Now, I will share with you that when you look at the most successful and richest and wealthiest people in the world, I'm talking about your Warren Buffetts and all people like that, they earn money from their investments. They earn money from their capital gains. Their money is making them money. And ultimately, what I want to share with you is you can be in multiple parts of this cash flow quadrant. You can go on listing appointments, and when you do that, you're an employee, right? I'm sorry, when you do that, you're self-employed. Well, maybe you're an employee, right? You can own the system, and you can be a business owner, and you can also earn money on your money. And that is part where eXp Realty and Fast Forward come in, because I believe that eXp Realty and the Fast Forward movement is the only model and the only vehicle that allows you to earn money as a business owner and teaches you how to do that, and also as an investor so that you can move over to the right side of the cash flow quadrant, which is where I think you should be as an entrepreneur. And on that note, let's get to the part that I know you want to hear about, and that is the 5 ways that you can earn money at eXp Realty and the Fast Forward movement. Okay, number 1, you could sell real estate. Look, that's what we all got our real estate licenses for, and that is an amazing thing. You want to sell real estate, you want to promote selling real estate because that's what we're in business to do. And that is where most real estate agents and other models stop. Like I said, you start every day at 0. You sell a house today, you're going to cash a check in 30 days. You don't sell a house, you're not going to. So that's number 1. Number 2 at eXp Realty is that you will receive equity awards. And I'm going to talk about each of these 5 things in depth in just a minute. I just want to summarize. You can receive equity awards. Number 3, we have something called the Icon Award, which is spectacular. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love this part. Number 4 is our Agent Equity Program. And number 5 is the revenue share, which is, to me, the most exciting part and also the most misunderstood and confusing part of eXp. We're going to dive deep into that today on the video. So 5 ways to make money. Let's dive in. Number 1, sell homes and make a commission. Hey, like I said, that's what we all got into real estate to do. Now, the cool thing about eXp that I absolutely love is that everyone is on the same program. There's no sweetheart deals. There's no special incentives for people other than if you're a team or a brokerage and you're interested in partnering with us, there are some special incentives to come over. But once you're here, everyone's on the same program. I find that very refreshing, and I actually really like that. So let's talk about the model. Financial model. Number 1 is that everyone at eXp is on an 80-20 commission split. That means you sell a house, you keep 80% of the commission, 20% goes to eXp Realty. But there's more. I'll tell you how you can get all that back in a second. But 80-20. Now, there is a $16,000 annual commission cap on that 20% that you pay eXp. So what that means is that you pay into the model, but once you have paid $16,000 to eXp, you get 100% of your commission for the rest of your anniversary year. So if you come over in February, and if you're like a lot of top agents, you cap in March or April because you pay that $16,000 in after you earn $80,000 in gross commission. After that, you get 100% through the next February. There's also a couple of little things that happen after that. There's a $250 cap transaction fee. There's a cap on that. These are US fees, by the way. And we'll talk about other countries on a different video, or you can just reach out to talk individually. Okay, there are a few minor costs that you should know about. First of all, there's a $149 startup fee to join the company. There's an $85 per month cloud campus and technology fee. I'm going to talk about everything you get with that later. For everything that you get, it's a tremendous, tremendous value. And then per transaction, you pay $40 for errors and omissions insurance and $25 for a broker review fee. I will tell you, being at a bunch of different companies, those fees are very, very reasonable and very, very good. There's also no franchise fees, no royalties, and no desk fees. So I know other companies, you're paying all of those things. Here, we don't have any of that. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, and it's very transparent, which I absolutely love. So there are also team structures. You might be thinking, hey, what if I have my own team, or husband and wife teams and things like that? Well, there are lots of different structures that I won't get in depth on in this video. I'll do separate videos on that, or you can reach out. But there are team structures available with half caps, meaning your agents only pay $8,000, or even quarter caps where your agents only pay $4,000, depending on production and the type of team that you're doing. And there's also, as I said, incentives if you have a large team with a lot of production to come over to eXp to make that transition easy. So that's number one. Super simple. At most other brokerages, there's only one way to make money: sell homes. Not so at eXp. Let's get into the other ones. Number two is equity awards. Now, eXp wants to reward you for being productive. And so you will receive eXp stock. As I said, eXp Realty is a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. You will receive eXp stock for your first closed transaction and when you cap. Now, these amounts may seem a little bit small, but they do add up. And remember, stock exchanges and so the stock market typically goes up. This isn't a guarantee, but as your stock vests over a couple of years and as that money grows and accumulates, that could amount to a lot of money. You will also receive eXp stock for the first transaction closed by an agent that you sponsor. I'm going to get into sponsorship in a little bit, but just know that this can also add up to a lot. Let's say you sponsor 20 or 30 agents a year. They all close deals. We're talking about lots of money in eXp stock awards for equity. Now, number three, super exciting, is the eXp Icon Award. Now, the Icon Award allows you to receive that entire $16,000 that you paid in on your cap back to you in eXp stock. That is not a typo. Look, you can essentially work at eXp, do the same thing that you're already doing at another brokerage, but you're going to get all that money back. Now, that's revolutionary because it doesn't happen to any other company that I know of. When I worked at Keller Williams, I paid them, they had a cap, I paid that every year, and they didn't care how much production I did after that. They never paid that money back to me. So this is an amazing thing. It's granted after you do 20 closed transactions, after your cap, or if you're in a high value market, $500,000 in gross commission income and 10 transactions, and you meet certain other eXp criteria, because we want our agents that are icons to help other agents reach that same status. And so what we're going to do is incentivize you to go to events and other things like that. All right, so I don't know about you, but I have to say that the Icon Award, when you combine that with the cap, is simply spectacular. Like I said, you can essentially work at eXp for free. They're going to give you back that cap in stock. And as that stock grows, you're actually getting paid to be an agent at eXp Realty. Unbelievable. But it doesn't end there. Number four is our Agent Equity Program. The Agent Equity Program is an optional program where you can opt in or opt out anytime to have 5% of your net commission on a transaction go and buy eXp stock at a 5% discount. Now, I want you to think about how amazing this is, and about 65% of agents participate in that. You're getting stock that's publicly traded at a discounted price. That would be like going into any store, whatever store you want, it could be clothing or technology or whatever, and just getting a 5% discount on everything. You could take that once it vests, of course, and sell it back as the price goes up. You're earning exponential rewards already. So the Agent Equity Program is another way to, again, in the cash flow quadrant, move over to being an investor rather than just someone who's self-employed. Now, if we just stopped at those first four things, I think eXp would already be an unbelievable no-brainer. But this number 5 is the thing that really excites me the most and hopefully gets you excited as well, even if you decide not to participate, and that is revenue share. As I said, it's also the most misunderstood and the most confusing thing per se about eXp, but I'm going to explain it to you today very simply so you can understand exactly what it is. And at the end of the day, what revenue share is, the eXp revenue share program, is it's simply a way of paying you and me for not only helping eXp grow, but also helping other agents become productive. And since I'm so passionate about helping agents like you become productive, to me, that is an amazing thing. So let's talk about it. Revenue share actually solves the biggest issue facing real estate agents, because in traditional real estate models, there's no exit strategy, there's no residual income, and there's no retirement plan. Whenever you finish selling real estate and selling homes, you don't get paid anymore. Now at eXp, 50% of all of the money that goes into eXp, that's that $16,000 that comes in from the cap, is paid out and given back to agents through revenue share. That's right, 50% is given back. Last year alone, eXp Realty gave back over $240 million to its agents in the form of revenue share. Now, in any other model, remember the franchise model or the corporate model, where's that money going? It's going back up the chain to all of those other people. Not so at eXp. Now, the way it actually works in simple terms is that you earn revenue share from eXp Realty, not from the agents, for every transaction closed by an agent that you sponsor, and that goes 7 generations of agents deep. So if, for example, you decide to partner with me when you close a transaction, eXp is going to thank me for helping bring you to eXp and helping you get into production, and they're going to give me a reward in the form of revenue share. Now, that's also going to go to the person that sponsored me and the person that sponsored them 7 layers up and also 7 generations down. When you think about it, what this allows you to do is build your own organization as big as you want without any liability, risk, or overhead. I want to stop here and I just want to talk about this for a second. When I owned my own brokerage, when I owned a franchise, all of the liability, all of the risk, and all of the overhead was on me. I had to write all those checks. I had to defend all those lawsuits. There weren't many, there were only a couple, and they weren't my fault, but I still had to defend them. And that was all on me. At eXp, not so, because with revenue share, I have all the benefits of being able to build a team, an organization, a company within the eXp model without all the negative effects, without all the liability. That all goes onto eXp. So if there's ever been a no-brainer, it is this. Because this model is simply amazing, whether you're an individual agent, whether you own your own brokerage or you run a team, this is the place, as they are now saying, where pros go to grow. Now, eXp recently came out with Revenue Share 2.0, where they adapted some things and made the program even better. Like I said, I'm not going to get into the entire nuts and bolts. I will do that on a different video. But for now, I just want you to understand that we have full transparency on the Revenue Share program. 50% to agents, 50% to the company of that company dollar that comes in. eXp also introduced recently something called Pay Now. So revenue share is paid once a month to the agents, but if you have some life event or you need that cash now, you can actually get it immediately and instantly anytime through the month. There are also bonus opportunities to earn additional bonuses on revenue share. It is a willable asset, meaning this is your retirement plan. This is your legacy for your family, for everything that you want and all of your goals. There's also no production requirements, meaning you don't have to sell real estate in order to participate in revenue share. They've also changed the requirements for revenue share, which have made it a lot easier to earn money through revenue share. And if you're thinking, about some of the questions that I get, there are really 3 top things that people say about revenue share. Number 1, I don't want to recruit. Well, look, first of all, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to participate in revenue share. It's an optional program, and in fact, 90% of agents don't participate. I believe only 10% of agents participate in revenue share. Now, I think that people are foolish for not participating because it is such an amazing thing, but that's okay. It's all up to you. You don't have to do it. Now, the second thing I want to mention is that if you do want to participate in revenue share, it is not recruiting. Look, all you're doing is really sharing something that you already like with people that you would want to work with, and then you're going to help them, and our organization, Fast Forward Movement, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, will help them get into production and do more business and help them achieve their goals faster. So when you think about it, when someone asks you, hey, where do you work? What brokerage? And do you like it? If you like it, naturally you're going to say yes. I used to do that all the time. The only difference was all the other places I worked, I didn't really get paid for it. Yes, I worked at Keller Williams that had a profit share program. I'm going to talk about the difference between profit share and revenue share in just a second. And I did make some money in profit share, but here we're talking about building a sustainable and duplicatable revenue share organization that can be as big as you want simply by telling people about something that you really like. The next one I hear is that eXp Realty is a pyramid or multi-level marketing company. All right, so what I'm here to tell you is that when you look at all of the other companies that I talked about, franchise model, corporate model, whatever it might be, all of those companies are actually set up as a pyramid. When you close a commission, when you close a deal, that commission is going up that pyramid all the way up, and everyone up and down that line is getting paid. The franchisees, the master franchisors, all the people that I mentioned earlier are all getting paid. The difference at eXp, and the part that I actually think is great, is that the people that are getting paid are people that helped sponsor all of the folks in my organization, and they're the people that are helping all of us become successful. So I don't know about you, but I would much rather those people get paid than people that I don't know, that I've never seen, that I've never met, that couldn't really care less about me personally. They just care about the company growing because, as I said, eXp is very agent-centric versus company-centric. And so eXp is set up in such a way as to reward the people that have helped the company grow and that have helped other people become successful. And I find that to be a much better model. And as I mentioned earlier, eXp Realty is publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And in fact, 90% of people, like I said, don't even participate in revenue share, although they should. Only 10% do. Our main business is selling real estate, and that's what we are here to do. We are here to help you achieve all of your goals faster. Revenue share is simply one component of that. The last one I want to bring up is when people say, hey, it's too late. eXp Realty already has 90,000 agents. It's too late for me. I can't build an organization anymore. I want to do revenue share, but why don't I join one of these companies that's just starting out? All right, look, here's what I'm here to tell you. If you would have joined 6 years ago when no one heard of eXp Realty, it would have been a lot more difficult to explain that model and to share it with others and to get people to make a big life decision based on something that's novel. Now, everyone understands that eXp Realty is the #1 brokerage in transaction sides. We have so much momentum. All the kinks have been worked out. And I will tell you, and a lot of the leaders that I have spoken with at the company will echo this, there is no better time to join than right now, especially if you want to build a big organization and take advantage of revenue share, because this model is not only revolutionary, but it's already been proven. If you join somewhere that's completely novel, you don't know. It's a crapshoot. A lot of these companies do not make it. eXp Realty has now been around for a long time, is the fastest growing, it's the biggest, and so you're joining something that is already proven. Now, on that note, earlier I mentioned profit share. There are companies that do profit share. My old company, Keller Williams, which is a good company, does profit share. I want to share with you the difference real quick between profit share and revenue share, just so you could see how big of a difference it actually is. So in a profit share company, what happens is the company pays a percentage of the profit. Revenue share is paid on the top line revenue. And if you're thinking like an entrepreneur, because you remember my cash flow quadrant, you're going to understand why revenue share is so much better. With profit share, every office has to be profitable in order for you to make profit. Because if there's no profit, there's no profit share. Let's just take two companies. And both companies have $1 million of revenue, top line revenue. In order to get to profit on a profit share company, you have to subtract out overhead and expenses. Now, overhead and expenses at a company can be huge. Office supplies, staff, employees, all these kinds of things. Let's say that that's about $900,000 in the profit share company. At eXp, that number might be the same, but it doesn't affect our revenue share. Now, the profit at a profit share company, when you subtract overhead and expenses from revenue, is $100,000. Again, at eXp, that's not relevant to revenue share. So if we give 50% to the company in a profit share company, that means the company gets 50% of that profit. And at eXp, the company gets $500,000 of that revenue, because we're talking revenue. And then you, at a profit share company, would get $50,000, but at a revenue share company, you would get $500,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I like revenue share much better because the numbers are bigger and because I'm not subjected to the overhead and expenses that the company decides to incur. You see, all of those things don't reflect on me. If I help the company grow and I helped an agent get into production, why should I be penalized because the office spent a lot of money on staff? I shouldn't. And that's why revenue share is so much better than profit share. In fact, I want to share a couple of clips from people that I have interviewed on this channel about revenue share.
So I've sponsored 42 people that directly put my name down. Of those 42 agents, they have brought in another 860.
Wow. No way.
So my total group size, and I'll show you in real time, is 906 agents.
Wow.
And so what that means is I get paid on all 906 agents. But it's amazing to see, my organization or a group like this grow by, 4-5 times what I was growing by when I owned a franchise, spending all my time, energy, and money and having to go there 5 days a week just to make sure that everybody was doing what they were supposed to. I do this with 0 employees, 0 overhead, and 0 liability. You grow 4 to 5 times faster than if you owned an office, and I get paid more. And so for me, it's a perfect model.
The best of all worlds. Okay, so nothing's perfect. What's the downside?
You know what? That's a great question. The downside is it took me too long to join.
I came for the opportunity within revenue share. Revenue share is money that eXp pays me, which I look at as a coaching payment for the value that I provide the industry. So I was a team leader with Keller Williams. I've been in leadership for a long time in the real estate space, and I am compensated from eXp for the lives that I've changed and the impact that I give other agents. And so I knew that if I got to eXp, that I would have an opportunity to get in front of more people and to have a better vehicle that was going to allow me to then hit my goal of doing more good in the world. Money is good for the good it can do. And so that was why I came to eXp. And this model has allowed me to work through multiplication rather than addition. I could go and sell one more house. I could go and recruit one more team member. I could go and do all these things that were just addition, and it was a bicycle. But with eXp, I could go and I could meet a guy like Joe Turco and have him come over. And then through Joe Turco, I could have 300 more people partner with me. And I can impact the lives of 300 more people just because I met Joe Turco. It's incredible the leverage that is applied in this model.
Now, here's what we found is that if you want to be good at agent attraction, you've got to be attractive. Mm-hmm. And what we know is to be attractive is not to go and tell everybody out there, like, come to eXp and you're going to earn all this revenue share and you're going to get to live on a deserted island. Like, right. We know that our message out there is come join our group, fast forward at eXp. We're going to teach you how to do what we've done, right? The things I've experienced in my growth from, where when we met, I was probably selling less than $100 million and now we're going to sell 600 or 700 million. Like, I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And now people can plug into me and plug into Dan. And instead of making all the same mistakes that Dan and I have made along the way, we can tell you, hey, Danny, I know that looks like the right path over there, but be careful. You're going to run into a roadblock over there. So what I recommend you do is come over here, and here's why. So because we can help people navigate that road a lot smoother, we can help them get to where they want to go a whole lot faster, hence the name Fast Forward. So that's what we've learned is we want to help people accomplish their goals in business. And for most people, that's a production-based goal. what better way to increase your production than to learn from the people that have done it before?
Okay, now that I have shared the 5 different ways to make money at eXp, I want to share some of the other benefits of the company. Number 1 is the cloud campus. So the cloud campus is such an amazing thing because it really is something that allows you to do all of your business and become successful in the most efficient way. Remember, eXp is all about being agent-centric and all about helping you achieve your goals faster. So first of all, this is all about leads and lead generation. You see, at eXp Realty, you get access to a CRM, customer relationship management system. There are actually a couple of options, KV Core and some others. Alone, if you were to get these outside of eXp, they would cost you thousands of dollars a month. You get that all as part of the technology fee at eXp. We also have something called Revenos, which is a referral network within the cloud campus. You also get all of your technology, all of the email, your SkySlope for your transactions, and all of those things. As I mentioned earlier, some people think that when they come to eXp, because it's cloud-based, they give up their office. In fact, you get access to more offices because eXp has a partnership with Regus where you can go into any Regus and use their common area facilities. There's one 2 minutes from my house and I can go use that whenever I want, which is such a great benefit. You also have the ability to do paperless transactions anywhere you want, of course, because it's cloud-based. The most important thing is you have access to world-class training. There are classes all day long. There's also live training. I just went to an amazing event here in Dallas. There's a convention every year. There's one coming up, eXp Con, this year in Miami. Amazing events to learn from all of the industry leaders at eXp on any subject that you would want. So you really get the best of both worlds. You also get amazing on-demand support. As I talked about earlier, with eXp, that support is just a mouse click away, and it is fantastic to have that anytime you need it. Broker support, transaction support, commission support, all of those cool things. Now, there are a couple of other things that I really want to mention that are extraordinary. Number 1, if you're a luxury real estate agent, the eXp Luxury Program and certification is spectacular. It includes marketing materials for you, listing presentations, buyer consultations, and also a referral network of other luxury agents throughout the world that you can network with in order to build your luxury real estate business. These are things that you would pay a lot of money for outside of this program. Number 2, and this is such a cool thing and overlooked, is eXp Commercial. I talked to a commercial real estate agent recently that told me that he pays 40% of his commission to his company with no cap. eXp Commercial is a slightly different model, but very similar, also capped with all of the other amazing benefits, the Icon Award and the cap and revenue share and all of these things. If you're a commercial agent, I truly believe that eXp is an untapped market because it's growing, it's new, and you have the ability not only to make way more money as a commercial agent at eXp, but also take advantage of the revenue share program. Might be the biggest no-brainer, even more than for residential agents. So if you're a commercial agent, this is something you definitely want to take a look at. All right, so now that I've told you all about eXp Realty and the amazing benefits of that, I want to share something that really puts the eXp model on steroids, and that is called the Fast Forward Movement, which is the organization that I am a part of and that you have the ability to partner with. Now, the Fast Forward Movement, as I mentioned, is the biggest organization within eXp Realty and allows you to have even more benefits without any extra cost, without any added commission split, without any coaching programs. Again, I have nothing to sell you. I'm simply trying to help you achieve your goals faster. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, every agent that comes to eXp Realty has to name a sponsor. Who you name as your sponsor really matters and will have a huge impact on your career at eXp, whether you're a new agent, an individual agent, a team, or a brokerage. As I mentioned earlier, Fast Forward Movement is one of the largest organizations within eXp Realty. We have amazing leadership and support for your business, not only your production business, but also your agent attraction business if you'd like to take advantage of revenue share. And really, at the end of the day, what Fast Forward Movement will allow you to do is leverage the organization to build your business and your organization as big as you want it. At the end of the day, when you partner with me at eXp Realty through the Fast Forward Movement, I want to show you all of the amazing benefits that you get at no extra cost or split to you. Number 1, personal coaching by me and the other leaders in the organization. I can pick up the phone and call anyone at the Fast Forward Movement, including the leaders, anytime and get personal coaching, accountability, and support. Remember, I told you earlier, those are the things that you need, that supportive community, in order to become successful. And you get that with the Fast Forward Movement without paying for a coaching program or an organization or a team or anything like that. We have daily coaching, training, and support going on. We have weekly Zoom mastermind calls where we all get on calls and talk about the topics that are going on in the industry, the topics that are relevant to your level of production. There are multiple calls and to everything that you're doing. You have the ability to bounce ideas off each other and really learn from people who have already done it, because success leaves clues. We also have a full-time onboarding specialist for you and your organization. So if you decide to take advantage of revenue share and you have agents that want to partner with you, we have someone that can help facilitate that so that you don't have to spend money out of your pocket to make that happen. We also have a partnership with a concierge TC company that I am involved with to help you in your transaction coordination should you need that in your business. We have several private Facebook groups where you can interact with all of the other members of the Fast Forward Movement. We also have exclusive access to top leaders at eXp Realty. I want to show you a sample weekly schedule. Check this out. This is just a sample of the things that we do every single week, from morning huddles to production calls to mastermind calls with the leaders of our organization. I mean, without any extra cost and without any extra commission split, it's really unbelievable how much value you get from the Fast Forward Movement. In fact, I want to share a quick story. When I was at Keller Williams and other companies and I had my own real estate team, when I provided all of this kind of value to agents, I had to charge a commission split in order to compensate me for that value. Now, ultimately what happened was a lot of those agents would end up leaving because once they got to a certain point, they're like, well, I don't want to pay that split, I'm out. Or other agents would just decide that, hey, this isn't for me and I want to be an individual agent. There was also a lot of competition between teams and other agents because you don't want to give away all your value. Well, look, at eXp, it's completely different because I'm helping you and I'm getting paid by eXp to do it. That is simply amazing, and it's a no-brainer, and allows me to give you all of my information, all of my value, because I want you to succeed because it helps everyone, and you want the next person to succeed because it helps you and everyone else in the organization. At the end of the day, I think one of the most important things about the Fast Forward Movement is the fact that we have access to people that have done it before. These are people that will shortcut your way to success. People like the founders, Kyle Whissel, who's going to do over $750 million in production this year, and Daniel Beer, who's going to do over $611 million in production. You can pick up the phone and call them. You have access to them when you partner with me. Also, guys like Meyer Takarar, good friend and mentor of mine, who actually introduced me to this model several times, but I didn't take advantage of it until just recently. He's someone that has almost 1,000 agents in his organization. By the time you watch the video, it'll probably be over 1,000 because he's helped so many people become successful. And a guy like John Pugh, another good friend of mine, who was just named the Humanitarian of the Year recently at eXp. When you have all these people and you have access to them, again, it will shortcut your way to success so that you can achieve all of your goals faster. So a question I get asked sometimes is, hey, what if I already have a team or a brokerage? Why would I want to come over to eXp? Well, check this out. Here's a great example. Matt DeLone and his realty group have 68 real estate agents, over $350 million in sales volume, 1,100 transactions, and 2,000 five-star reviews on Zillow. They recently came over to eXp and the Fast Forward Movement. And when we asked them, hey, why'd you come over? Matt said, joining eXp provides us with the support and infrastructure we need, freeing us from the administrative burdens of running an independent brokerage. This move allows us to do what we love best, helping our clients and coaching our team to achieve even greater success. While doing competitive research, I found eXp to be the most forward-thinking brokerage equipped to lead us through these changing times. So whether, again, you're a solo agent or you're just getting started in real estate, or you have a team or a brokerage, or you're a commercial agent or a luxury agent, eXp Realty has the vehicle and the model to help you achieve all of your goals and create a legacy and create a real business and become a real entrepreneur. Here's one more. Holly and Lisa. They joined eXp Commercial, which again I think is such an untapped resource, in January of 2021, and their business grew 150% in their first year with eXp Commercial. And I believe that is because of all the resources and all of the knowledge and all of the help that you get by being part of this amazing community. Now that I've shared the entire eXp Realty model as well as the fast forward movement, which puts eXp on steroids, I want to go back to where we first started the video and ask you, what do you want out of your real estate business, your career, and your life? And like I said earlier, if you're like most real estate agents that I've coached and trained and been around, it probably is one of these 5 things or more. And if this is what you want, I want you to be honest with yourself, and I want you to ask yourself, do you have these things in your life right now? Because if you don't, then you may want to consider making a different choice as to the vehicle and as to the path that you are taking. You know, they say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so right now in your life, I believe you have a choice. Number 1, you can choose to do the same thing that you've always done. You can say, hey, Danny, this was a great video. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Turn the video off, subscribe to the channel before you do, and give it a thumbs up, of course, and then move on and go do something else, exactly what you've always done, and choose to essentially do nothing. By the way, I did that 5 years ago when I was first exposed to this model. I did it 2 years ago when I was exposed to this model again, and every time I look back, I think, wow, I would have been in such a different place had I made a different choice. And that is something that you can do right now because you can make a different choice. You can choose to go down a path of partnering with me and us at the Fast Forward Movement at eXp Realty and change the trajectory of your life and your business and take advantage of the 5 ways to earn money. Take advantage of creating a retirement plan and take advantage of creating a legacy for yourself, your family, and your business so that you can have an exit strategy, so that you can create residual income for yourself, so that you're not tied to always selling homes if that's not what you want to continue doing forever. And as you're making that decision, I want you to ask yourself, where will you be in 5 years? Look, time is going to pass anyway. As I mentioned, 5 years ago, I could have chosen to partner with eXp. I didn't. That's okay. I'm here now. But where will you be in 5 years, and where will your choice today take you? As I've always told my real estate clients that ask me, should I buy real estate, Danny? My answer is always, look, the best time to buy real estate was 30 years ago, but the second best time is today. You can make a choice today that will change the trajectory of your life and of your business and allow you to achieve all of your goals faster and more efficiently. And if you want to make that choice, or you just want to find out a little bit more about it, I want to invite you to do a couple things. Number 1, you can join a live Q&A call that I have about eXp and the Fast Forward Movement. I can also invite you to any of the events that we have pretty much daily, the mastermind calls, the huddles, and all of those things. If you want to see what we do and test drive our model, let me know, and I'm happy to invite you. The next thing is you can book a private one-on-one Zoom call with myself and my team, and we could chat with you about what's going on. You can ask any questions that you want and see if this might be the right fit for you. At the end of the day, I want to thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate you checking out the information. If there's anything that you want to go back and rewatch, I suggest you do that. I know there's a lot of information on this video, and I look forward to seeing you either on one of the live Q&A calls or on a Zoom call with us. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon.